Everyone keeps talking about passive income like it's some magical money fountain that fills up while you sleep. But what if the fountain needs constant plumbing, tenant drama, and a midnight emergency call about a broken water heater? Welcome to the real world of rental income, where passive is doing some seriously heavy lifting as a word. The myth started innocently enough. Buy a property, find a tenant, collect checks, retire early. But the reality is that between vacancy periods, maintenance costs, property management headaches, and tax complexity, the average landlord works a lot harder than the Instagram highlight reel suggests. Here's the economic truth nobody puts in the caption. Studies show that self-managing landlords spend anywhere from 5 to 10 hours per month per property, and that number spikes dramatically when something breaks or a tenant stops paying. That's not passive. That's a part-time job with no benefits and a boss who texts you at 2 in the morning. Think of rental income like owning a vending machine. Sure, it can generate cash without you standing there, but someone still has to restock it, fix the coin slot, and chase down the person who tried to rob it. The more machines you own, the more passive it can become. But getting to that scale requires real active work up front. The early 2000s real estate boom had everyone convinced that property was a guaranteed wealth escalator. And then 2008 happened and reminded us all that escalators can go both directions. We went from real estate only goes up to how did I end up underwater on 3 properties faster than most people can refinance. Even seasoned investors admit the psychological weight of being a landlord is underestimated. You're not just managing a building, you're managing people's homes, their lives, and sometimes their very creative excuses for why rent is late again. As one well-known real estate educator put it, your first rental teaches you more than any book. And what it often teaches is humility. History shows us that every generation rediscovers the rental income dream, usually right after watching someone else succeed with it, and then rediscovers the operational reality shortly after their first eviction. The cycle is as predictable as a sitcom rerun: enthusiasm, acquisition, complication, recalibration. Here's a misconception worth tackling head on. Passive income doesn't mean zero work. It means the income is not directly tied to your hourly labor, but there's still a system that requires your attention, capital, and decision-making. Confusing passive with effortless is the fastest way to become a very tired, very underpaid property manager. The real path to making rental income genuinely passive is either hiring a property manager, which typically costs 8 to 12% of monthly rent, or building a portfolio large enough that the economics justify professional management. Neither path is free, and both require you to be deeply active before you can afford to be truly hands-off. Practically speaking, the landlords who succeed long-term treat their rentals like a business from day one, with documented processes, financial reserves equal to at least 3 to 6 months of expenses, and clear criteria for tenant selection. Emotion and convenience are the enemies of a well-run rental portfolio. Discipline and systems are the architecture of actual wealth. The irony is beautiful. Really, the people most loudly promoting passive real estate income online are often the most actively working people you'll ever meet, producing content, selling courses, and managing their own properties while telling you to relax. Meanwhile, the truly passive landlord is quietly boring, diversified, and almost never on social media bragging about it. If you're serious about rental income, start small, stress test your assumptions, and never underestimate the cost of a bad tenant or a leaky roof in the same month. The goal isn't to avoid work forever, it's to build systems so the work becomes manageable, predictable, and eventually, yes, closer to passive. At the end of the day, rental income is one of the most powerful wealth-building tools available to everyday people, but only when approached with clear eyes, realistic expectations, and a solid support system. Discipline, proper sizing of your investment relative to your reserves, and consistency over time will always beat chasing the fantasy version. And if you're ready to stop theorizing and start building, whether that means investing in your first rental property, renovating to increase value, or figuring out financing, check out our links in the description below, because we can help you get started with real estate investing, home contracting work, and finding the right lenders.